Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Driving Digital Stand-Up. I'm Isaac Sacolick, or NY Ike on Twitter, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about how to develop relationships with the key business stakeholders that you're going to need to garner support for your innovations, for your customer experience and data programs, and for delivering digital transformations. I'm going to go through 12 steps to build a relationship with someone in your executive group that you may not even know. So let's get started with some context, and then I'm going to share these 12 steps. So let me introduce you to two of my friends, Jill and Ron. Jill has an idea for a new application to deliver to customers, and Ron wants to bring self-service BI tools to a number of different departments in their organization. In my language, they are digital trailblazers. They come from different parts of the organization. They are lifelong learners. They want to bring new capabilities to their organization to drive transformation, the type of people and experiences that I talk about in my new book, Digital Trailblazers. Now, Jill and Ron, they can't do this on their own. They need to be able to partner across the organization around their ideas. And most importantly, they need some executive sponsors to be able to go to them with vision, with ideas, and to make sure they're on board with the investment. Now, they may not know the executives involved in their programs that they're trying to be able to bring to fruition. So let's talk about 12 steps that they can take to be able to build a relationship with one of these executives. I'm going to break the 12 steps into three major functions, and it starts with doing your homework. That means not going straight to the executive with your idea. You better meet with their lieutenants, with their teams, and understand what their objectives are, particularly their midterm objectives. Are they aligned with the programs that you're trying to bring to fruition, or are they after other objectives and goals and missions that you best align with? You want to understand some of their pain points. What are some of the things that are hurting their capabilities, their goals, and their objectives? And you really want to understand who are the key decision makers and influencers in that executive's program. So that's going to give you a starting point from understanding how do you bring your idea to their context. The second part of understanding and doing your homework is really understanding the executive themselves. How long have they been in the company? What types of investments have they really gone after? What are some of their goals and objectives? Look up their LinkedIn profile, see if they're doing things outside of the organization that you can set up as a context when you go out and meet with them. So really understand the world that you're walking into by learning from the people that are working in those departments for that executive, learning about their objectives and their pain points, and then learning something about the executive that you're trying to go out and meet. So the next 4 steps are all about setting up an agenda and planning your meeting. You need to organize your thoughts. Right? You probably have a big, bold idea. It's going to impact multiple departments and leaders, but you want to set the context for this particular organizational leader that you're trying to set up a relationship with, right? And so use your homework, right? What's the context that you're going to bring to this? And what are 2 or 3 things that you want to talk about? You don't want to sell your idea on meeting number 1. You want to use meeting number 1 as a setup. Now, to get that meeting, you want to use the relationships that you built with their key lieutenants, with key people and influencers in their department. Let them call the meeting, set up the meeting, but you run the agenda and you run the story behind that meeting. That means that you actually have a story. Right? You need to be prepared with what you're actually going to talk about, how you're going to help bring that executive from their world into your ideas. And that's not going to be a PowerPoint or a list of things that you're trying to sell them to. You need to bring some context. And that's why you really need to understand where that leader is coming from and what their incentives are, and maybe some connection points from their background. Lastly, come into this meeting with an agenda, with some goals and an outcome for yourself, right? What do you want to be able to get out of this meeting so that you know you're ready for your next steps? If you're just telling a story, but you don't know what you're going to come to next, it's really hard to make sure that you come out of the meeting with something tangible that you can drive your idea to a next part of its program. So make sure you have some ideas in your mind about what some of the outcomes that you're looking for. Now you're ready to actually go and meet with that executive, and that's going to be the next series of steps. So the next 4 steps are all about how you conduct yourself during the meeting and what you do as follow-ups. And this is where your homework is so important, because what you're really trying to do is establish credibility with this executive. You don't want to go in selling something right away. You want to be able to tell a story, share some information, and then cede control of the meeting to the executive to allow them to ask as many questions as they want. Make sure you answer their questions specifically. Right? That's one of the most important things you do with an executive, is when they ask a question, answer it, and then provide follow-up details around it. Cede control to that, go back and forth with your story, set up a place where you're going to actually have a relationship with them based on sharing knowledge back and forth. But make sure you save time at the end of the meeting to get to the follow-ups and the outcomes that you're looking for from that meeting. The worst thing that you can do is take up too much time from an executive and overrun the meeting. The second worst thing that you can do is leave the meeting telling a story, answering questions, and not having any room to set up some follow-ups. So make sure that you're time watching and make sure you're ready to go in with some ideas of what you want to do next, and then make sure you follow up with them, right? If you set some commitments during a meeting and you don't follow up regularly and quickly, you're going to lose all that credibility that you built up. So very important, save the last 10 minutes, make sure you get some outcomes that you're looking for, and then follow up very quickly. And that's how we build credibility with an executive. Now, there's one more key thing that I'm going to share in the next picture around setting up your relationship with that business executive. So let's recap for Jill and Ron. They have a big idea just as you do, and you want to set up a relationship with a key executive that you need their support for your programs. You're going to start by doing your homework, by building relationships and learning from teammates and lieutenants of that executive. You're then going to plan your agenda. You're going to know your story in the context of that executive's world. You're going to set up your outcomes so that you know what you want from that meeting, and you're going to get help getting that meeting on the calendar. And then lastly, you're going to focus on delivering your story, ceding control to be able to answer questions, and making sure that you follow up at the end of the meeting with all the outcomes that you made sure you collected during the last 10 minutes of this session. Right? So those are the 12 steps that you're going to use to set up a meeting with an executive. And what's key here is that you're going to need to repeat this at least 2 or 3 times to really develop a relationship with that executive. So after that first meeting, when you're ready for meeting number 2, go through this process a second time, go through this process a third time. And if you go through it 3 times, you probably have a good relationship. They probably want you coming back at this point, and you're ready to present your ideas. Now, if you like what I've shared here with you today, 3 different ways you can engage with me. First, please consider buying my new book, Digital Trailblazer. It's got 10 chapters of my experience and stories. It's told in first-person narrative, so you're living the worlds that I did in trying to get executives to buy into my ideas. And I share 50 lessons learned in the book about how you can continue to navigate your world of digital transformation. The URL at the bottom is all about getting access to my newsletter, where I write and share at least 10 to 12 articles every single month that I'm writing. And then please sign up for the Driving Digital Stand-Up YouTube channel that you're on right now, as I put out new episodes every 2 to 3 weeks. Thank you and have a great day. I hope you got a lot out of this episode on developing relationships with key executive stakeholders.